Attack the enemy! Victory is ours!
Hello everybody, and welcome back for some more USA 8.0 high-tier tank lineup gameplay. This battle is from 29 May 2017. I was still researching the T95E1, although as you'll see, I got a lot closer at the end of this one. So this battle actually picks up just after starting, because the battle went very long and I DVR'd it, and it actually was longer than 20 minutes at the time, and that's the limit to Shadowplay's DVR function, so didn't miss any actual action, you just missed the starting like you normally get, which most of you probably won't mind because that means we get closer to the battle. Like seeing an enemy tank up ahead already. Trying to get him in sight, hoping that he'll drive out in between these two buildings right here, but he goes behind them all and continues on his way, so I'll push forward in a moment and try to go intercept him somewhere near the B point. I'm assuming he's heading into the B point here. And there he is. We got the A point captured just before they got the B point captured, so a tiny, tiny little ticket loss, but not really enough to call it anything useful. So he's captured the B point, he's now moving on. You can see him just in the background there. He's just getting behind the buildings before I can get sight on him. But I did see him and see where he's heading, so I'm able to move in a position to go intercept him. And sometimes your commander-mounted machine gun is not your best friend. Gave me a beautiful sight picture on the back of his turret as he was heading over to shoot down into A, where we had no one to do anything either, so he actually wouldn't have found any targets there, so I really just saved him time. I'm going to move in and take B away and get the ticket bleed started on them, eventually, once I can crash through these houses. There we go. So, you may notice if you've watched all the videos I've been putting out in this little spurt and flurry here that a lot of them are from consecutive days over a very short time period. I had a lot of really good battles in a really short little bit in towards the second half of May, and then most of them were as I was grinding for the T95E1 or the Vickers MBT or other vehicles coming from... that was an artillery hit. Or other vehicles coming from the new 1.69 patch, so a lot of these battles that I had have just been sitting in my to work on folder for a while because they got pushed out of priority by new vehicles like the Vickers MBT and the T95E1, etc. And then most of my time was taken up in just grinding for the Chieftain Mark V as hard as I could and playing British tanks, which I don't have a lot of talismans on my British tank lineup. So the grind is pretty slow, as well as... I mean, it's fitting because the British tanks are slow, too. Anyway... I'm narrating this video on 17 June of 2017, so that's how long it took me to get to this one to actually work on it. But it is ready, and I am narrating on it, getting it narrated, and it's going to be uploaded soon. And boy, sometimes the Germans just let you know they're coming. Not through any fault of their own, but between the MG-34 on the top of that Leopard and then the big ol' spin and shoot here radar on the top of that Gepard, boy, those poor guys had no chance. So I'm gonna head up to C and figure out if these guys need help up here. In the meantime... Now, the Sheridan video he's talking about was the 12K RP Sheridan video on the Sinai, which you can find on my channel. Maybe I'll put a link to it in the description, I don't know, if I remember. I probably won't. By the time this is published, I probably won't remember to do that. So, you may just have to search for it on my videos. It was quite a good battle, and I had about 12,000 something research, and I thought that was a really good battle. And then this battle happened. So, as you can see by the title, I got even more research here. I had a pretty good string of near 10,000 or over 10,000 research battles happen in that time period too, which is why most of them are getting turned into videos. Those are hard to beat. I like having videos that aren't first 10s to work on as well. They're a little bit shorter, and they showcase it's kind of different styles of gameplay that I have as well. Besides just going after getting to enemy contact as fast as possible like I do in first 10s, try and keep the video length down a little. Because they're usually around an hour long as it is, and that's not something I expect everybody to have enough time to watch. So, shorter videos are good. I try to save the first 10s for weekends so that people have a little more, presumably a little more time to watch the entire thing if they want to. So, back to the video, rolling up on the C point here. Not sure why our team didn't move in and cap it, and instead went around it and bypassed it, but we do at least have a good ticket lead going on with the other 2 points. However, 3 is better than 2. And that does get us a lot more research, so not a bad thing either. I mean ticket bleed, not research. The cap gets me more research, is what I was thinking. It's just not the way I said it right. Alright, I'm just going to stop talking for like 30 seconds, let my brain reset, and stop just whatever talking I'm doing there where I am not talking straight at all. There we go. Second capture. 2 kills and 2 caps so far with the M60A1. Pretty good battle. Gonna head back down to B, try to hold it because we've got enough people around C at the moment. Plus they took A away from us, so since nobody's near A, I'm going to head down to B and head for that plateau and try to overwatch and snipe down into A, because that's always fun. It's one of the best long-range shooting positions there is on a map in this game. And it's very fun to shoot up there. It's great practice. And I think the Russians want us to capture B, or warning us that they're about to capture B. And he's right. I thought I was a little closer to them taking it, so hence the stupidly long pause there, but I was going to say, and he's right, as soon as they started capping it. It was just a little further away than I remembered. So I'm trying to roll up here and get sight on whoever it is that's taking the B point. Can't quite see them around from where I'm coming in. So I'm gonna have to move in closer to knife fighting range. So, rather obvious where he is. Get a good critical on him, take out his breach. Set him on fire. And the problem with knife fighting sometimes is that sometimes you and the guy you're knife fighting with aren't the only ones in the knife fight. but I'll take the assist. I certainly had that Panther dead to rights and would have finished him, but that's okay too, because there's an assist and now a capture, a third capture, and then some trouble very nearby. Very bad news, very close by. But another assist, thankfully. And then a Japanese M42 comes along. And I somehow didn't get an assist on him, but not really mad because I definitely got saved by a super rookie there. I was in a bad spot. That rocket hot would have finished me off. Now we've got another enemy over here on the other side of these buildings that we can both hear. I'm trying to mark him, but I can't do anything until I can fix my tracks. And then some air support shows up for the Germans, which was rather unfortunate. Because now our pincer move is no longer a pincer move, it's a one-sided pincer move, and it's kind of hard to pinch things with only one finger. And when you get a non-pen with your shot, and you lose your breach with your follow-up shot, or lose your breach with the return fire, rather, things are probably not going to go too well for you. And when there aren't really any friendlies nearby, there's only so much you can do. Just start repairing and hope that somehow he doesn't drive around you and put shots into your side. Or just shoot your lower front plate. And then sometimes you get an assist from an enemy bomber. That was hysterical. So I thought about coming back in either my M551 or my M60A1 as a backup, and then decided to go with the M103 because, well, it's just fun. And I had smoke shells for it, and I wanted to give the smoke shells a chance, a tryout, if I had them. Now, the enemy team has taken 2 of the points now, and is very, very close to the B point. Right on top of the B point, in fact. And is now taking the B point. So we've got a little bit of work to do here. We've got to take all 3 points back. We are taking the A point back now, so it's a start. And then we've got my random squad mate here, who's been sitting in the same spot the entire battle. Is right on top of the C point, but he won't move in after it. He's just going to camp there and try to farm kills in his IT-1. That's all he did the entire battle. Now, thankfully, we built up quite a ticket lead up to this point by holding all the points up till now, so we've got time to work. However, we don't have an unlimited amount of time, and we don't have an unlimited amount of ground forces with us either. Although our air support is helping us turn the tide a little bit and eliminate some leopards that are holding down the point so we can get up there and take them back. Still, though, we're losing tickets, and they're going to catch up to us before too long if we don't go do something about it. Now, I don't care if you want to use the capture point as bait and camp on it, that's fine, but go decap it. I mean, do you think the enemy's going to come up to the C point so you can shoot them if they already hold it? Why would they do that? That makes no sense. I don't understand the thinking there. Now this poor guy, first off, somehow survives a 120mm heat FS right to the face. Which is sort of funny because I broke his gun mount, leaving it up, pointing upwards. And then still, a second a second 103 heat, or 120 mil heat FS goes into him and just starts a fire. Now, my machine gun rounds can't get actually through to damage his crew, but they could take out his gun breach, and then I take a hit that costs me my gun breach, and then a second hit that finishes off my commander, poor guy, costing me one of my machine guns that I'm able to shoot this poor Ostwind with. So I figure I'm done here. Lose my barrel. And then just go back to hoping I can get one of his crew members with my machine guns, as I'm just taking hit after hit after hit now. Quite a long repair time. My barrel got repaired, and that fooled me into thinking my breach was fixed, and then I fired and blew the barrel like a dumbass. And then I got his gunner, which finally was enough to knock his crew out. That took entirely too long. But, still, another kill. And I'm nearly repaired now to go back. And like I said now, look how much time that costs and how our tickets are right back down to being nearly matched up with the enemies. And there's our team still just sitting there at the sea point. Thankfully, I had switched back over to a smoke shell to cover myself while I repaired, as I took another hit in the engine. Thankfully not starting a fire. But still, unable to move after that. Reloading back to Heat FS now. Expecting that the enemy's going to close in on me while I've got the smoke up. And he sure does. And takes out my turret rotation. Now, I can't see exactly what it is that's shooting me, except it's way back behind all the buildings and wooden bits and everything. And then finally I see it. Get him set on fire. It's a little tricky when you're looking for a forward or a side of a tank and you end up seeing the back of them, sometimes. Able to continue marking him as I figure I'm probably toast here with my reload speed. And I at least finished off his loader, which is going to make it more difficult for him to load. And then a buddy of his comes along and kills me from behind. We did eventually take the C point there, finally. So the ticket bleed is reversed back to them. And I'm going to come back in my M551 and head for the B point, which they're again about to take. Thankfully, that other Leopard burned out. So there's another kill for the M103. Lost our Falcon teammate. Up at B. To the same guy, the same Leopard that killed me. Heading back in as fast as I can to get up to some place where I can actually do something, but at this point it's looking pretty safe, like we've got this battle handled finally, so... And our boy Dantis there finally did move out after he got taken out of his IT-1 and had enough armor in his T-10 to move around, so he was actually moving in on the B point at the end of the battle. A bit late, but I suppose that's better than never, which I've seen before, people just sitting and camping the entire battle and never moving out. So at least he did move out at the end. Finally, their tickets bleed off right as we take the B point, or start taking the B point away from them, and that will be that. So there you have it. 4 kills, 3 assists, 3 captures, and 13,065 score for research. Not too bad. 55,500 lions, and none of that was with any kind of research booster. That was all just talismans on a premium account, which technically are research boosters, but no additional research boosters on top of that. First place on the team, there's the kill lineup, and that is going to do it for this video. There's my awards. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was a little bit longer. Thank you very much for stopping by and checking this one out. I hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you next time for some more War Thunder.